And we are live. What is going on, guys? Welcome into Rover Sports. This is my last time that I'll be doing a film review on Jimmy Garoppolo this year, and it is making me a little bit upset that this is the last time that this is going to be happening for this year. Not only because, of course, I love seeing views and I love watching Jimmy film, but just interacting with the Niner Empire has been such a joy. And you guys are still hanging around for the live streams on college football and the playoffs. We got free agency, we got draft, we got other sports up until August. It's still going to be a great time on Rover Sports, and we're still going to do some film reviews as well. But let's start it off. First quarter of play here, and this was really the play, guys, that kicked off this thrashing of the Los Angeles Rams. This game wasn't even close. Sean Mannion is a complete joke, and it was just absolutely awesome. Just to beat the Rams down, finish the year off well. Marquise Goodwin is feeling fine. He's feeling okay. And now the Niners are going to get a top 10 pick in the draft, and there's going to be some pretty damn good options and some pretty enticing scenarios for this roster to figure out, going into next year. Will Brock Coyle be around? So here, Jimmy Garoppolo, basically we're eyeing up number 58, the linebacker, and watch the move that George puts on him. George sticks his feet in the ground, and he does a little stutter shake, and he just absolutely pantses the linebacker. I mean, he just jukes him out of his shoes, and then George is versatile enough to then run like a deer. George Kittle now runs like a wide receiver here. Watch how he finishes the play. This is a special play out of your slot tight end. This is something that Zach Ertz, but the yards after catch there absolutely were fantastic. So that was a very, very nice play. Now check out all this action from Kyle right here. So Kyle Shanahan, watch what he's going to do. He brings Kyle Juszczyk here into the box, okay? So what Kyle does is he does so much eye candy, it's ridiculous. And it's tough for defenders to know what the hell's going on. So he's going to bring Kyle Juszczyk here, first drive of the game, so all the bullets are in the chamber. Kyle's all locked and loaded. He's had a week to prep this shit. And so basically what's going on with this shit is that, Jimmy play action to Kyle Juszczyk, and here, if Jimmy, like the whole goal of this play, though, is they want to get KB here in the middle of the defense. And I don't necessarily know why I like that. You have the numbers out here. But the thing is, nobody goes with Carlos Hyde. Like, he should be looking here at these guys. He expects this corner to go with Carlos Hyde and give the responsibilities to these linebackers. However, these corners stay home. However, if we pause it right here, Carlos Hyde here is wide open. This corner, as you're going to see, is going to be coming inside. So if Jimmy's now throwing this in the triple coverage. If Jimmy were the weight, Carlos Hyde would have a touchdown around the corner. Instead, he fits it very nicely into a window, but luckily it falls harmlessly incomplete. All the action, though, was great, all the tease, and I'm sure that Jimmy was trained to stare down Carlos Hyde, and give the Rams credit because they were prepared for the shot in the middle of the field. And I don't know if you guys watch Brett Coleman in the film room. He's my favorite guy on YouTube that does film. He's just, I'll never know more than half of what he knows ever. Meaning that at my most, I'll never know half of what he knows. He's just a football genius, and he did a Jimmy G review, and I strongly advise seeing that. It was an amazing video, one of my favorite videos of the year. And what he was talking about is how Jimmy G, basically he's talking about weight transfer in the video. So what Brett Coleman was saying was that Jimmy G, he needs to be really on the balls of his feet, which he is here with the left foot, and how sometimes that left foot, instead of pivoting, he raises it and kind of gets hoppy instead. So if you look right here, the weight transfer is not on his front leg right now. It's kind of all on his back leg, and he's lacking that velocity because he's not going to be able to rotate his hips farther enough because his front leg has no power. And you see, like, that's a perfect example of Jimmy G, is that really he doesn't have a lot of power. I love how his footwork is minimal and how he doesn't overrun the pocket. But in terms of him just gearing up on his left foot and not hopping and kind of pivoting and loading up so that his weight transfer is more effective and he's not fading away into the throw every time, that would be something that would be beneficial for Jimmy. And I'll show you another throw where that happened. It's nothing to panic about. It hasn't changed anything about Jimmy. It's just something that in the long run, Jimmy and the weight transfer and getting him to throw with a lot of juice, that's going to be something that is going to continue to progress within his game. And I think this was a good weight transfer, a lot better. You look at Jimmy here in his feet, he pivoted correctly that time, and he let it fly, and his weight fully got around there to Breda. And this was a very accurate throw. It just was a drop. But the reason why it was smart why the Niners did this again, because look right here. Did they start out by getting Breda to, let's see here. Well, Breda's all the way on the outside, and they are confused. Watch, the Rams are confused. And if you snap it here and quick screen really the Breda, these two guys are signaling late. Breda easily has the outside. He corners it off well. It just needs to be caught, and it's a 9-yard gain right in the bag. So they were kind of giving you that. But here's the coolest play call of the day. It's the Kyle Shanahan play. And this was the coolest play call of Kyle. This sums up Kyle in a nutshell. Everything that has to do with this play is so Kyle. So basically, what we have here is we're going to see, I think this is the Goodwin play, if I'm not mistaken. The Goodwin catch. It's not. It's not. I thought it was the Goodwin catch. I'm sorry. This is a play where Jimmy, you look at it right here, and, they're playing, of course, like a cover 2 with a lot of linebackers back in the coverage. So they're playing a cover 2 prevent. And what Jimmy does here is nobody's really open on this play. And 3rd and 8 down here in the red area, you're trying to extend. I mean, what I didn't love what Jimmy did is he kind of fell into a Tyrod Taylor trap where, like, running quarterbacks fall into this trap. Like Jimmy G here, this is uncharacteristic. This move right there, that's him looking at the rush and fearing the pass rush. So you want to see Jimmy continue to keep his eyes on field. He does revert back to that, and then he just forces a ball and throws it away. But that play is a very difficult play to execute. You know why? Because it's 3rd and 8, and they basically have all their guys back there just waiting for you. So, that's kind of why that happened. This is my favorite of Jimmy Garoppolo. He did this so much in the Texans game that I knew it would work. It is basically called when a blitzing linebacker goes, you simply replace him with the throw and the football. And watch this guy right here. Watch him go. The minute he shows his hand, this is over. It's nighty-night. George Kittle is getting it. The minute he does that, it's over. Jimmy saw it out of the corner of his eye, takes the snap, looks the other way to keep that linebacker also honest, and that throw is to his outside shoulder. There ain't no way that linebacker's catching up. Ain't no way. You understand what I mean? Like, Jimmy G is smart enough, too, that he knows he's got it's like, you're playing poker, you got ace, king in the bag, but he can't show his hand too early, so he's not going to stare here at George Kittle. He's going to let this linebacker here onto this island thinking that Jimmy G is headed towards this side, when in reality, this is the path line the entire time. And this linebacker here is the one guy you need to manipulate for just a second. And when it comes to George, it'll be too late and the ball will be thrown on his outside shoulder. So it's nighty-night. It's curtains. Curtains. Chess match over. Checkmate. Jimmy Garoppolo. Perfect angle right here. Perfect angle. A lot of fun watching this angle. There he goes. We have a biter. We have a biter on the line. And then 58, he is screwed. Easy money. He goes dead sprint. In college, that would be such an easy completion. Jimmy G, perfect accuracy. So smart. Knows where he's going with the football immediately. So that's a big play. That's a nice play to start out a drive, okay? Very nice play to start out a drive. Now watch this throw. I think Jimmy G does a lot better. We talked about the Brett Coleman thing earlier with Jimmy's footwork. I think his footwork is great here. And Jimmy G, you know what he does so well? He really eye manipulates people right here. I mean, Jimmy G, he keeps this, relationship. And this is Marquise. He's running a 20-yard stop. And he stops right on the line. That's why it's great. That's why people in the combine want 4.5, 4.6, 4.4 guys. Because when you have receivers that run this fast, look at how much respect Marquise can get. And the timing is so impeccable between Jimmy Garoppolo and Marquise. When Marquise turns around, ball's already there. That's what makes Jimmy elite. The quickness of his release and the timing is just, you can't beat a quarterback that is this precise with his timing. And look at how Jimmy does step up into the pocket. A lot of people like Brett Coleman want to always talk about the negatives of Jimmy's releasing. But there, Jimmy G, I really think he whipped his hip around there. I know he still did maybe the hoppy motion, but that was a little bit more of a finish and a rip, and that's what I like. I just want to see that back leg and that back hip rotating, and there, that was a great throw. That was a big-time ball to Goodwin with some heat behind it. That just shows you that Jimmy can make all the throws. That throw right there. 20 yards, dead bullet right into his chest. Let's skip right to the play. This could have been a touchdown. Great tackle by this guy Johnson, or this guy Hill. This is a touchdown. We just have so many bodies coming out there. And so I really like this call by Kyle Shanahan here. Watch what Kyle's doing. It's only 2-on-2. So you get this, and then you get all of the linemen going out. And right here, you have two guys. Carlos should just cut right here. Cut outside right here. Why is he going in the middle of the field like that? Why are you going where the trouble is, I think, and a huge debating point is going to be with Carlos Hyde. Are you going to keep Carlos Hyde, or are you going to draft Saquon Barkley or Darius Geis or one of these great running backs coming out in the draft? And the way I stand on it is you can get a great running back late. Matt Breida and Carlos Hyde are pretty dang good. Carlos Hyde's been in this locker room. He's well respected. I don't want to see Carlos go from a human and a fan aspect. I think Carlos is pretty solid. He's a good receiver, and he can grow with Jimmy. There, I wanted to see him get outside, though. But that's going to be, again, a talking point of the offseason for sure that you guys are hitting me up with is where is Carlos Hyde going? And that's something on the live streams that we discuss at length. Let's get to the next play. This is my favorite play of the entire game. Maybe one of the coolest play calls of the entire season. All right, so here we go, all right? Let's go slow-mo so I can remember what I'm pointing out. All right, I got the guy. Okay. So here's the guy you need to be worried about. This is Marquise's assignment, is right here, is 32. This is the cornerback that has Marquise in one-on-one coverage. When Keese goes around for the end around, number 32 is going to be around here, and it's a fake end around. So this cornerback is expecting, like any other fake reverse end around, he's expecting Goodwin to just be out here running as the decoy, as then Jimmy will then look to throw right towards the end zone or something, or maybe hand it off or do a flick to maybe hide, right? But this is what happens. And watch 32 the entire time. He's waiting for Goodwin to be over here. But when the fake happens, Goodwin stops very discreetly and kind of in secretly, and then he loops back around for a wheel route. One of the craziest, very, very creative calls by Kyle Shanahan. He had to be cracking up the entire time because it was just sheer genius, and this guy was fooled and put on skates, this number 32 kid. Here we go. So watch 32. Here it comes, and it never gets old. I've watched this at least 10 times, tried to figure it out. It don't get old. So actually, he's going to be behind the running back. So now he thinks that, right now he can't even see where Marquise is going. He just thinks Marquise might be running across or something through there. But both of these guys are fooled. And then he's like, oh, holy bleep, you know? Say bleep to keep the ad dollars on, maybe. Holy shit. Oh my gosh. Marquise, where are you, Marquise? And that's what happened. Incredible call, incredible play, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful play call. And again, the touch, awesome. Great call by Kyle Shanahan. Tons of fun. 10-0 lead, Niners. Great throw here to Trent Taylor. Absolute bullet to Trent. Okay. Great throw. Great throw. Let's see Jimmy again. Load up. Footwork. Look at him. He kept his foot down. He kept his left foot down. And that thing was rifled in there. Alrighty. I like when he keeps his left foot down and doesn't like hop into it. Play action. This is Jimmy. This is what we call a heat check. If you play pickup basketball, heat check. I'm feeling it. I'm invincible. I'm Jimmy Garoppolo. And it also is Marquise's fault because listen, Marquise right down here, when you need to out leverage the guy, it's almost like boxing out in basketball. You know, if you listen to the UGA receivers today, the Georgia receivers, they talked about boxing out the Oklahoma guys, okay? So right here, what Marquise needs to feel leverage, and he overruns this guy, number 47, this new corner that they're inserting, okay? Right here, that's overrunning it. And you don't want to overrun it because then he's just going to cut you off. You want to, again, body him out. Use your body, and he overruns the route, and Keese gets sloppy and doesn't help Jimmy out. And Jimmy, this is a blind faith shot. This is like Marquise is invincible. I'm invincible. I'm letting this sucker go, and the guy undercut it. Basically, let's go back to the top here. There's really no hesitation. He looks off, and then he just pelts it in. He just thinks Marquise is going to be there. He anticipates, and a lot of that's on Marquise. Again, you got to box that guy out. You can't overrun the corner when you're running an in. And that was unfortunate. It's a heat check. But guess what? When you play aggressive football like Jimmy Garoppolo, things are going to happen. Luckily, the Niners hold to a field goal there, and everything is peachy and rosy. Here's a 3rd and 5. I didn't like this play call by the Niners here. I would have much rather prefer them go to the underneath guy who was wide open. And there I want to see Jimmy not just stay on Carlos Hyde's read. And this was an errant throw, too, if you look at it. I mean, Jimmy beat him a little bit, but Carlos stumbled. It's a 3rd and 5 play. Again, I don't like one reads. I love when Jimmy's able to scan to his reads, and you're also able to hit a receiver in the middle of the field, like a Trent Taylor, for example. That's my favorite kind of 3rd down conversion. And trust me, there were a lot of 3rd down conversions that I really liked. Second and 4, the Bourne. Let's see here. Yep. This is taking candy from a baby. This is why you throw on 2nd down, because you get this easy single high cover 1 look where basically if you occupy 53, 32 is giving you so much cushion that he's afraid of you even running a fly route right here. So if you kind of can sell out a little fly route, he's backing up, he's retreating. This is as easy of a completion as you can get. And again, that linebacker is occupied, so that's just beautiful. That's taking candy from a baby. That is simple football there, and I love simple completions, and Niner fans should too. Tough throw to Marquise. Let's see if anybody else was really open on this side. That guy got a very clean release, but the throw the entire time was to Marquise. 3rd and 10, this goes to Trent. He knew the whole time that he was going to have this because, again, they're playing, sort of like Jacksonville plays, They're bringing blitzers, that it's zone coverage right in the middle of the zone, and Jimmy G's able to hit him really in stride. This is classic Jimmy Garoppolo. This is just dimes on dimes. 3rd and 10. That's what wins you games is 3rd down conversion. Staying on the field, using more clock, controlling the tempo of the game. If you fail 3rd downs, you lose football games. Today I watched, the Oklahoma-Georgia game, and Oklahoma kept on failing on 3rd downs, and they let UGA back into a game. That's why Jimmy Garoppolo's perfect, because you can salt away games with him. When you keep on converting 3rd downs, you salt games away, and that's how you win football games, by salting away the games. And Jimmy's the ultimate salter. He's the salt man. A terrible nickname, but hey, we're having fun today. Alrighty. Little love right before the half. George Kittle, my man. I love how this guy's playing right now. He is playing at such a high level. Watch him here. Watch him with some yak yards after the catch. And if we get a good angle here, which I think we will, I want to see Jimmy Garoppolo's eyes. Watch Jimmy's eyes here. This is the best. This is awesome. He goes through 3 reads in about, and this is slow-mo, he goes through 3 reads in about maybe 2 seconds. Look at Jimmy just pivot and stay in the pocket. There's not many quarterbacks that are that comfortable, that confident in their offensive line, and have that eternal clock. The way that he goes from his third to his third and scans across the field, that is elite quarterback play, elite, going through his eye manipulations and his reads. That is beautiful, beautiful stuff from Jimmy Garoppolo. Out of all the throws he made, that might not have been one of his most impressive because it was an 8-yard pass to Kittle that turned into something. But the point was that it was so off schedule. It was literally his third read on the play. His third read. That's how good Jimmy Garoppolo is. Oh, and then this Blake Countess hit. This is just disgusting to even look at. I don't even feel like full screening this play. I mean, Countess comes in. I know that, Keys kind of lowers the shoulder, but he's coming in with reckless abandon. He's coming in with intention to hurt. With intention there. That's an intention to pop a guy and just kind of break a guy's, face off. And that just, there shouldn't be room for, like Jimmy said, that's just too violent of a hit for the football. There shouldn't be that type of hitting in football. That's just a personal foul. Look, he's trying to hit him right in the head. And I know that, Keys might have ducked, but that's a direct blow right to the head. Hard hit. I'm a fan of hard hits. But boy, oh boy, is this ugly and graphic. I prayed for Keese, and luckily Keese is okay. For Countess, he is going in full speed, does use the shoulder, doesn't lead with the head. At the same time, I mean, just to take a guy out like that, oh man. It's mixed feelings, because I want defenders to be able to hit hard, but I never want to see that to a guy like Marquise. You know, I feel like Marquise is part of our family here at the Niner Empire. We certainly don't want to see a guy that's such a class act end up with something like that. So borderline dirty for sure. Borderline dirty for sure. I'm sure you guys saw that. I'm sure you guys had some opinions. He did duck. He did lead with his shoulder. At the same time, it was a brutal, brutal shot. Alrighty, let's get to the third quarter. Third quarter here, Jimmy Garoppolo. What one do I want to talk about? What play here? I definitely have a few more plays I want to talk about. Again, Sean Mannion was so ineffective, so Jimmy G was just able to completely dominate this game. Dominate the game. I got 2 more plays, and I'll show you the brilliance of Kyle here. You'll love Kyle Shanahan brilliance on this next play. I figured this one out on the last play. So unfortunately, these 2 plays are probably, for the educational purposes, you guys should look for this point in the video. Because, and again, what I really want you to do, I want to pause this video, Niner fans, and I will ask you. It's not like Brett Coleman and I. Brett Coleman's come on my show. He's a great, great guy. But just in terms, I think it's very important for you guys, after this video, to go to look up Brett Coleman, BrettKollmann, and he does a Jimmy Garoppolo video. And throughout the 12-minute mark, he's going to talk about what I'm going to be talking about, and he's the expert here. He's a guy that's, again, he studied football his entire life. He is as smart as anybody on football, and he's going to try to describe what I'm going to describe to you guys. So do yourselves a favor and go watch from the initial master. I'm just simply a messenger of Brett Coleman, and I love the film room so much. I have no animosity at all towards guys on YouTube that compete and make videos like I do. And I'll notice how I told you to watch it after my video, because again, we still want to beat out Brett. I mean that as a joke. I mean that all as a joke. But for real, guys, check out the film room. It is incredible. I wish it would come out every day. But he did a Jimmy G video. So right here, this is like the play similar to the Jacksonville play that I even talked about, where Jimmy G missed a wide open KB, and ironically it's KB again. But this ball is lacking velocity, right? When you watch this play, Jimmy G, he's lacking the velocity there. And it's not something to panic about. Again, we're not going to panic. Jimmy G can hit that throw in his sleep. It's just a little thing for the offseason to think about. So here, Jimmy G, I just want to worry about the right torque of the right hip, and if he can swing his hips forward. And you see how that hip is kind of hanging back and how he's not whipping it through. And it really is because that front foot needs to be planted on the ground. Right here is where this hop is what Coleman's talking about. He wants Garoppolo, as he's throwing the ball, Coleman wants Garoppolo's foot to be planted on the ground. So he is driving completely off of his front leg and transferring his weight back to his back leg to create more power, velocity, and torque. Because torque equals power, just like a golfer. And there you see Jimmy, you see how he's a little off balance, and see how his leg's kind of in the air a little bit. You see how he's not driving off that front leg. You see this little hop right there? Not driving off of that front leg as much. And that's what caused him, because it looks like his weight's still back. He wasn't as balanced as I would have liked Jimmy to be. He even falls off of this throw a little bit. And that's just one instance, though. And that wasn't the best of Jimmy's footwork. Jimmy's footwork even gets better, and I'm sure that Jimmy's aware of these things. I'm sure Kyle is aware of what Coleman is also talking about as well. But I want to see Jimmy be able to hit those in his sleep. Again, this is again for the Niners' best interest. I want to see Jimmy hit every throw that he ever takes in his life. So don't think I'm a hater. I'm the last thing from a damn hater. I just try to call it how things are going. And in this game, honestly, Jimmy was still freaking awesome. So don't get me wrong. Jimmy comes back here and hits KB, and you guys could just forget about everything I just said, because look at Jimmy here, his footwork here. He plants that left leg. Look at him plant the left leg there. And there is the Jimmy that we know and love, coming right back at ya. But watch this play from Kyle. This is where things get really fun. All right, so this is where it gets fun. So right here, this is the last safety. Like, understand, like, this cornerback is responsible for our guy, Louis Murphy. So Louis comes over. So now suddenly, the outside man, Louis, like, Louis is in the middle, so he's not covering Louis anymore because he's the outside guy. He needs to cover Kendrick Bourne. And what Bourne is going to do, look, Bourne has a head start. It's almost like, hey, you want to race your friend and give him a 10-second head start? Well, it's a race to get to here. And he already has inside leverage by like 5 yards because of Kyle audibling Louis Murphy in here. So he just basically mind-effed this guy right here, Tremaine Johnson. And then Jimmy is just going to take the cake. These guys decoy it out, open up the window, and deliver the package right through the window. There you go. It's that simple. It's a simple concept of having the inside leverage, having the inside part of the field, but that audible screws up the defenders so much, and those little intricacies are really fun to watch on tape. And they're hard to guard. And that's part of what maybe learning Kyle Shanahan offense and learning from it, it's fun. When you have that type of advantage, and Jimmy G and these guys know exactly where they are going every time. I think this is a throw to Garrett Selleck. So for all the haters of the last throw, oh, that was a sensational grab by Trent too. Or George Kittle, I think, again with a catch. Let's see, come on, step forward. There you go. See, even though he missed the throw, the velocity was still there from Jim Garoppolo. You know, so again, that Brett Coleman video is important though for the offseason. Very important. It kind of was eye-opening on Jimmy Garoppolo because everybody's just been saying everything great about Jimmy, and he lays it out in a way that again. But this throw right here is as elite as it gets. And again, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's a third down wizard. He's a mental wizard, quickest release in the game. He is going to be a dominant player, okay? When you make throws like this, Niner fans, don't worry one bit. Do not worry. Keep the hype rolling. When you're making throws when you're making layered throws over linebackers 20 yards down the field, placing it only in a spot where your guy can get it, I mean, you're fine. You are fine. And then let's get to the third quarter. I have one more touchdown to show y'all. The last throw of Jimmy Garoppolo, I think maybe all year long, is this one. I want one more Jimmy touchdown before we leave for the year. Kind of emotional, Niner fans, because this is the last of my Jimmy videos for the year. I want to say thank you so much. I'll just let this roll through in slow-mo, kind of like the Robbie Gould kick, all right? So Niner fans, Niner Empire, Thank you so much. You guys have meant so much to my channel. You guys are going to continue to hang with my live streams and continue to listen to me talk about college basketball and a lot of other stuff that maybe you won't care about. But just know that next August, knock on wood, I'll be healthy and everything. Knock on wood, we're coming right back here next August, and we're jimmying every single video. We're going to Jimmy Garoppolo it up every single time, because you guys, the Niner Empire, have taken my little channel and have now made it into our own kind of big space where we can talk Niner football and everything, and it's been such a fun ride. Thank you so much. Niners 5-0 finish to the year. I'm so excited for next August. I'm so excited for the draft. We're going to talk free agency. We're going to look at other film reviews. Don't worry, more film reviews will come, but the Jimmy Garoppolo videos, it was a pleasure, and I think I needed to express my gratitude. And what better way to go out on this note than seeing Jimmy hit Aldrick Robinson after Aldrick put someone through the skating rink. Jimmy G, the prodigy, Aldrick Robinson, the Empire might be ready to strike.